asked Victoria, I says, was I dead? She says, basically, under human standards, yes, you was dead. But you don't die, brother. You're too valuable to die. And I said, well, I'm your brother? She says, you've always been my brother. And you'll understand these things as your senses regroup. It's not going to be an easy task, but they will regroup. Now, as they're regrouping, you're going to gather strength and you're going to gather your knowledge that you've always had. Give it time. Be patient. Well, she was telling that to the wrong person because I'm not a patient person sometimes. But she told me, she says, you are my brother, Abil. And the other girl that was sitting there, and she says, you are my brother also. And I said, who are you? And she says, they call me Atakia. 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 And I heard that word and I said, you're my sister too? She says, yes, I am your sister too. We're all brothers and sisters here because the Father gave us all the same life. I said, and that is my Father. I know that's my Father. They said, yes, that is Abra Anu. And they smiled at me. And guess what? He may be upset with you, but he loves you. He loves you. Don't ever think that he doesn't. He knows who you are. He created you just specially to do what you was doing down there on earth. And he says, brother, you're not supposed to do this yet. Yet. There will be a time and a place for it. And man will hear you soon. But don't do things like that. It's not time. And I didn't understand what she meant, but I would as years got older. Now, my father came to me one last time before I came back and was found. He told me, he said, son, I let you know that I was appalled at the things that you've done. There will be a time and a place. Now, I want you to go back home. I want you to go back to earth and be who you are for what I created you to be. Go back and watch and observe. You have done fine up to this point. I'm not disappointed. I am just amazed that you are already using your senses. Be patient and understand that I am your Father. And he says, for I have visited you many times, and I will be visiting you in the future. But go back and be who you were supposed to be. Not what I intend you to be, but who you are supposed to be. And know that I am your Father and I love you. And in time, you will meet the rest of your brothers and sisters. In time, you will not have to search for them. They will find you. And at that time, he hugged me and looked deep in my eyes, and I was so proud. I was so proud to be with him. I never had a chance to ask him about my fellow Marines that had lost their lives. I don't think I had to. I think I physically and mentally knew that the Marines that was under my care, my expertise of flying that helicopter, were okay. They were in a better place than where I was getting ready to be returned to. Now, do I know that for sure? I can't say it 100%, but I can say confidently that I felt that they are safe and they're in loving arms today, as I tell you this. It would be July 25th. A strange object was spotted coming from the south over South Vietnam. It was spotted and tracked by 5 radar stations. It was tracked by my home base in Da Nang. It was tracked all the way up near to a little village up near the DMZ called Que Bay. Que Bay. And the villagers even told the Army regiment units that went up there that they saw something very odd come down. and disappear over a little small ridge where a rice paddy was. And then they saw a bright flash, and it was gone. And that was where I was found that morning by an Army Ranger unit. I could not speak English. I did not know who these people were, but I knew they didn't mean me harm. And like I said, it would be not until 1994 that I would actually know what happened in Vietnam to me. Now, that's my last air wing hat that I had when I was in the Marine Corps before I was retrieved. But in 1975, when the Marine Corps was trying to see if they could find charges to bring a formal court-martial against me, all my military stuff that I was left in Vietnam when I was shipped back to the States, this was one that meant the most to me. And I remembered it. I remembered it. Because one of the door gunners I had was a grunt. And he gave me what they call a Marine Corps bush hat. I still have it today, along with several other things. I cannot tell you factually how many days I was before I got my consciousness back. Nobody knows. My father does. But I do know that the Marine Corps had me listed MIA for 11 days. 11 days. I could not tell them what took place in them 11 days. I could tell them that something happened. I don't know what happened. Can I describe these beings? No, because I didn't know these beings. I didn't even know where I'd been or how long I was gone when they found me. But when I got to Way Army Hospital on Okinawa before they shipped me 3 days later to San Diego, I was told had been missing for 11 days. Where in the hell have you been? Well, I can't tell nobody the answer to that if I don't know. And yeah, I was treated kind of harshly. But when I got to San Diego, I was brought into that facility there at the Naval Hospital. And I spent about 8 weeks there. I got my memory back, portions of it, but there was a section of my memory that just did not want to focus. It did not want me to relive the moments of that morning when I was shot down. I still carry the scars today. I still feel bad for the men that challenged me. I feel bad because maybe they didn't know who they were challenging. Now, I didn't even know who I was when that battle took place. I can only go by what my fellow Marines who were trying to retrieve me and give me ground cover witnessed. Could I tell them what they were witnessing? At the time, it didn't really matter. I knew I was being assaulted, and I used my God-given powers to strike back, and I was victorious. I got my butt handed to me, but I'm here to tell you the story. Again, I want to thank the people that have sent me many, many questions. And I have one of my sisters here. She's going to reply to a couple of the questions that has been asked, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. No, not as best as I can. I will answer them as truthfully as they should be. So, sis, what are some of the questions you have here?
All right. Well, I think that you you did answer how you were healed.
To tell you on the what Victoria told me, my lungs were replaced, my stomach were replaced, my intestines, my heart had been repaired. My heart was pretty well damaged. And if anybody wants to know, if y'all can see that, I have a pacemaker today. Although I have a different heart than you, it sits different than in my body cavity. It still today needs a little help. But I'm going to tell you, I'm 150% healthy. Anyway, what's the question?
All right. Bear with me, guys. It's Margaret. I'm going through these. Now you do have full recollection of what happened.
Absolutely.
And Ross wants to know, are they painful memories? When you and I sit and talk about it, is it painful for you to talk about it?
Yes and no. I will start with the no, the negative part. It's not hard to talk about it because I was doing what I had been trained to do. Now, on the positive side of it, yes, it reminds me every time I talk about it who my friends were. And the enemy, they were doing their job just like I was. Unfortunately, they met their match that day. I think about that. Who were these guys that I dropped? These guys I killed? At the time, it didn't matter. I just knew you have came into the wrong arena today, boys. But as I'm older now, I think taking a human life is a very difficult and hard thing to do. Yes, I think about it, and yes, sometimes it is painful. And I think about my black friend, K.D. Williams. I think about him. We went through boot camp together, OCS, flight school. We laughed together. He taught me things, I taught him things. And him to lose his life because, well, my flying abilities. Yeah, it's painful.
And Katie was your best friend.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know K.D. Williams, he was a black pilot. He was a black man from Syracuse, New York. He was the first military graduate in his family ever. I was honored to know him. I was honored to serve with him. Yeah. Yeah, it is painful.
And I'll share this with you guys. We, Eddie, Bernie, myself, they have the moving wall. And we had the opportunity to go to the moving wall. And we've got pictures of it. And we were able to find Katie on the wall. So it was really, really, it was emotional for me. It was emotional for my brother.
You know,
and we found a few others.
Yeah, found a few of the other guys that was in my squadron on that wall also. I will tell you this. I have not known many black people in my lifetime, in my many lifetimes. And today, I will be honest, I have a lot of inklings with the black community. I don't hate the black people. I just hate what has became of them. But I will tell you, if there was ever an honorable, most loving and caring individual, K.D. Williams was that example. He had became a second lieutenant. He flew helicopters just like I did, and he called me one crazy hellish white boy he had ever known. He taught me how to box. I taught him how to be patient. He taught me the lifestyle of black people in their communities, and I taught him things what white people perceive of black people in the South. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of it's not good. It's not good. I think there's enough blame to go around for everybody, black or white. But to go out and kill a black man because of his color, that is wrong. To go out and shoot a police officer because he's trying to protect the community, that's equally wrong. And to stand on the ground and call yourself a preacher and call for the black community to kill white people, women and children, they all have to die, that's equally wrong too. But I will guarantee you this, one day in the near future, that will be a very far off, distant memory. I guarantee that. Anyway.
Now, my next. Bear with me, guys. I'm glancing through these questions.
My sister just learned how to read last week.
Eddie does have a sense of humor. I've gotten used to it over the years. Now, your father, our father.
Okay.
When he appeared, because he is a light being, we know that. When he appeared on the ship, how did he appear to you?
When I first got to see him physically make out facial features, he was about my height, maybe a little bit bigger. He had a beard. He had them piercing eyes, the dark auburn color hair, and he had that reflection that came upon you, that I know you. I had seen this man. I didn't know who he was at the time because my conscious memory was trying to regroup itself. Again, it wasn't until 1984 I realized. As a child, I met this man in 1957 in New Jersey along with my other brothers and sisters. I knew him as Thor. We, from the Pleiades, knows him as Abra Anu, which is a titlement, the king or the supreme elder. Jabba means the creator. Now, Thor is his name. Now, I can't say his first name is Valiant. We just know him as Thor.
And us, humans, know him as God.
Well, that's man's perception.
Right.
That is man's perception.
So, did he look like he looked
in 1957?
In 1957.
It was a carbon copy. Except for the beard. Except for the beard.
Oh, why don't you tell us about your favorite drink?
On the Pleiades?
I'm sure you had some on the craft.
I did. They have a drink there that was quite... When my sister Victoria brought me a meal, there was a drink in that, and I told you it was a very dark colored drink. I come to find out it was known as kimchi. Kimchi, or kimchi. It depends on who's pronouncing it. I called it kimchi. It is a very soothing and... antibiotic type drink that grows naturally on the Pleiades. It has a very sweet taste to it. It's quite thick, and it's got a taste that envelops not only on your lips or on your tongue or your taste sense, as it is entered your body stream, as it's going down. You can feel your body charging. And it's a very, very beautiful drink. The only thing I can compare it to is a fruit that is grown in South America that has just been discovered in the last 20 years called acacia. And down in Peru, the acacia fruit tree is where the drink acacia comes from. And it's known down there by the Peruvians as the fruit of the gods. Could it be the same thing as kimchi? I don't know. It could be. You ought to try it. What's your next...
My friend Carol over in the UK.
Okay.
I've already answered her, but you know what? Because a lot of time, I mean, we say aliens or ETs. What do you and your brothers and sisters like to be called?
Well, we're not aliens. we may be aliens to the human species. We're not hybrids. That's far from the truth. That was something the government kind of placed on us because they didn't know who we were physically. They just knew, hey, we got something in our presence that we can't explain. Growing up, we don't like to be called hybrids or aliens. We like to be known as the true nature of us. We are celestial beings. My brother Michael, he doesn't go by the Archangel. My other brother, his twin, doesn't like to be known as Jesus or Jeshua. He likes to be known as Yero. I've let people know in the last video who I am. I am Abil. That's who my father calls me. But my full name is Abil Abadanius. And me, my brother, Michael and Daniel, David, Glenn, Richard, we are known as the Imaduraki Melchizedek Order. We are a warrior class. It's what we were trained to be. That's what we were born to be. And we don't go silently in the night either. But although we are trained for battle, we are trained for war, we are also given our Father's knowledge that this is also my children. Take care of my children. Protect my children. Help my children learn. And that's what I am trying to do. Now, during these many years, I knew I had a responsibility. I had a job that would come one day. Once I was told to do it without hesitation. And I told you people, at midnight on December 2010, January 2011, at midnight, the finalization of the Enochian prayer, the chant, the call to Amadeus, known as the opening of the sixth seal. Some of you have asked, how can the innocent die since they didn't know? I hope the people that sent me them questions listen very closely, because I answered it in my last post on our website. How can we allow innocent animals to perish? Read my lips. Didn't the president say that one time? Read my lips. No more taxes. Bullcrap. Seriously, from my heart, read my lips and hear and feel my thoughts. The innocent animals are just that, innocent. Why should I pass judgment and bring the fire of the beast upon animals? The animals are being taken. I just heard yesterday there are probably about 3,000 zebras left in the world. Are they dying? Are they being hunted? That's what people want you to think. No, they are disappearing. And other species are disappearing. And when all this is said, and the great dragon has devoured the last of this darkness that I have warned you about, and the new Jerusalem, the new world, you will be a part of this new world. Come with me and my brothers and sisters. Come to the mountain of the Lord, for he is going to teach us his ways, how to live as one faction, one together. And guess what will be with you? Those precious, innocent animals. Rest assured, I'm not here saying this just to pass time away. These animals are being taken care of. I promise you. I promise you.
All right, I think that's about it. There is other questions, guys. For the questions I didn't answer, we will do another video on the craft, the propulsion system, how the crafts work, because I don't want to get everything all mixed up. Anyway, we love you. We are just going to keep trudging along, and And God bless all of you.
And I'll finish it off with that. A lot of you want to know what makes the craft tick and how does it fly. I will tell you, man has tried to do this duplication on this technology. Man is not going to achieve it because we will not allow it. Because man has to change his thinking first. Instead of making something peaceful and useful for everybody, he wants to make a destructive vehicle to destroy his enemies. I will say this to those in the world that's watching this. I have a brother over in the sacred land of Pakshur. Right, Rudras? He is my brother, and we talk quite frequently. Rudras will tell you firsthand, the worst enemy that man has right now, you are looking at him. I'm not here to destroy humankind. I am here to bring light to that darkness that has enveloped this world. May love and blessings follow every one of you. And until I talk to you again, thank you for your warm regards and your blessings to me. Thank you.